So thanks everyone for coming into the Applied Biology Deep Dive session. As I've already mentioned, my name is Jordan Scansen. I'm the Indigenous Academic Advisor with the Faculty of Land and Food Systems. So again, like I've mentioned, my role is to not only support the Indigenous students within the faculty, but everyone as well, equally. So I can help you with everything from planning your course schedule, picking which courses are going to complement each other fairly well. I can help you understand your degree requirements, kind of navigate how and where to register. And then I can help with things like academic concessions for when times get tough and you need a little bit of support as well. So we are very lucky today to have three amazing guest speakers. You will hear from them all in a little bit, but I'll just go through their slides and kind of introduce them one by one, and you'll hear from them later. So let's start with Professor Simone Castellarin. They are the Associate Dean of Research, and they are a professor in the Applied Biology program. Next, we have Andrea Walterhouse. Andrea graduated from the Applied Biology program in 2017 and majored in applied animal biology. All right, then we have Luna Omiddoust. I'm sure I did not pronounce that correctly. Luna is a current applied biology student majoring in applied animal biology. So you'll actually be in Luna's shoes really soon. So it'll be exciting to hear directly from a current student about what their experience has been like in the program so far. So before we hear from our guest speakers, I'd like to review our agenda for today's session. So we will begin with an overview of the applied biology program and kind of discuss the majors that are within the program as well. We will then hear from our guest speakers, Professor Castellarin and Luna as well. We'll talk about different career paths and ways that you can get involved within LFS to help you with your career exploration. And then next, we will hear from our last guest speaker, Andrea. And we'll wrap things up by reviewing next steps, and then we'll go into a question and answer period. Um, yeah, so if you do have questions throughout the session, please feel free to type them in the chat. I will ask that one of the other guest speakers do read them out to me. I just cannot see them at the moment. So we will try our best to address them like when they come up. But if we miss any of your questions, again, feel free to stay till the end of the presentation for the formal Q&A session as well. All right, so you've been admitted to the Faculty of Land and Food Systems Applied Biology, but what exactly is applied biology? To start, it is a degree in science. We give out bachelors of science. So obviously, science is at the core of everything that we teach and everything that you'll learn in your time here. With this foundation in applied biology, you will apply life sciences to the management of soil, plants, animals, and food production. You will have the chance to participate in experiential learning opportunities like practicums, lab work, field trips, and field studies. And this will allow you to address real-world tangible issues during your education. So these experiences will allow you to integrate your technical knowledge of sustainability, ethics, and systems thinking into your work and studies. So in the applied biology program, in the Bachelor of Science, there are two majors available. The first one on the left with the squirrel picture is the applied animal biology program. Students in this program will learn about animal physiology, behavior, animal welfare, and ethics around animal use. The second major is Sustainable Agriculture and Environment, also referred to as SAGE. So in this study, or in this program, you will study agriculture, biodiversity, sustainability, food security, and agriculture as well. Now, something unique to the applied biology program is that both of these majors actually also offer an honors option. This is kind of a competitive option where you'll need to meet academic standards to be admitted into it. But completing an honors degree can be a little bit more rigorous. And you'll be completing a thesis, which is a major research paper. Something like an honors program is especially relevant if you are interested in pursuing a career in research, or looking to further your education, whether this is through graduate school, veterinary school, or another professional program even. Plenty of options, and the honors does open some extra doors as well. So, listed on this slide here are some of the unique courses offered in applied biology. So, courses like APBI 315, which is animal welfare and the ethics of animal use. APBI 322 is horticulture techniques. APBI 402 is sustainable soil management. And even APBI 413, stress and coping in animals. So there's also some other courses like APBI 423 that's not on the slide, that is ecological restoration. This course deals with perspectives and practices of ecological restoration in diverse ecosystems worldwide. We also have APBI 422, which is a relatively new course, and it focuses on Indigenous food systems in Canada. So students will learn about major elements of Indigenous food systems, and present-day food stories from Indigenous communities across the country. So as you can see, there's a lot of interesting courses that students can take, and these programs are built in a way that you are able to take a lot of elective credits and kind of build and tailor your own education. So the best part about the courses offered is that a lot of the information that you'll learn is especially relevant in our current environmental state of the world. A lot of the learning can be applied to your day-to-day life as you make conscious, sustainable choices and move forward with careers. So with the two APBI majors in mind, I'm just curious, which majors are you the most interested in? So let's just type in the chat here, and presenters, if you could help me out here. So yeah, which majors are you interested in?
There's a lot of applied animal biology majors and a couple of SAGE majors.
Amazing. So honestly, quite kind of to be expected. Um, Great. Well, thank you, everyone. I appreciate you taking the time to do that. So now I will pass it off to Simone. Please go ahead.
So, well, first of all, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining, particularly if you like sustainable agriculture and environment. If you like applied animal biology, okay, but change your mind and come to our program. I'm just obviously joking. I'm a proud member of the applied biology program, and we are all friends, regardless if we work on animal, plants, soils, ecological restoration, and all these topics that Jordan has so nicely presented to us. I would like to, I guess, to talk a bit about my story, how I joined the faculty and what I teach, but I'm also happy to then, answer any question later on about the program. So maybe you can move to the next slide, Jordan, thanks. So my background, probably 1997, I was in your shoes. So it was the last century. And originally, actually, I was expecting to study history, completely different story. But I got intrigued when I visited the Faculty of Agriculture, and I decided to study, to take my bachelor in agricultural science and technology. And I really enjoyed that. So that at the end, I also did a PhD. Focusing with my PhD, I had the opportunity to focus on grapevine genomics and physiology. So I started working or focusing my research toward understanding how to produce grapes for wine production, but I also care about grapes for table consumption. So for table grapes for as I said, for eating them. My focus was understanding genetics of and the genomics related to the production of the pigments, why and how, what is the biology that goes behind the production of coloring grapes, just for your information and how I got into my job. I became originally assistant professor in Italy. Originally, I'm from Italy, And this is where I worked for a few years before joining UBC. But I just wanted to point out that my experience a great experience I had while I was a student, an undergrad student, and then a graduate student at that time in Italy, was that that allowed me to visit other centers, other universities, initially in Europe, in Germany, and then I went to United States at UC Davis. So that was a great thing that happened to me while I was a student. It opened up a lot of opportunity, and how it got me into research. Originally, I was really not interested into research by any means, but I guess, I learned by doing, or I got more intrigued by keep studying. So can you go to the next slide? Thanks. So at UBC, I joined UBC in 2014. I joined the Faculty of Land and Food Systems and the Applied Biology program. And I'm part of the Wine Research Center. So our faculty has different centers, research centers, Wine Research Center, Center for Sustainable Food Systems, Dairy Research and Educational Center, and BC Food and Beverage Innovation Center. So those are centers that they focus on research, but as an undergraduate student, you can actually participate to their activity, do your practicums there, or also become do your honor thesis in one of those centers. So I just wanted to mention them because those are amazing opportunities we have in our or facilities that we have in our faculty. So I also became recently Associate Dean for Research. That is a role that support the Dean activities but not just the Dean activities, actually support the other faculty members, professors in developing their research projects, applying for their funding. But for instance, in relation to undergraduate students, we have just launched last month a new program that we call EURO, that stands for Expanded Undergraduate Research Opportunity. Those are programs where students can team up with a faculty member and do 4 months of research during the summer, financially supported. So this is also something that I oversee in my Associate Dean of Research portfolio. I'm not directly involved in undergrad students, but I'm involved in undergrad research and trying to support that. Can you go to the next slide? Thanks. So what I do in the Applied Biology program, I teach 3 courses, actually 4, because one is in the food science program. So I teach wine and berry crop biology. One of my courses is to teach the biology that underlines ripening grapes, ripening blueberries, cranberries, raspberries. So those are important crops of British Columbia. And I would say my focus is crop production and crop physiology. So I study and I teach, what goes behind the production of a fruit and why the fruit gets ripe, how we can improve the quality of our fruits, etc. I also teach a field study course, meaning that is an intense 2-3 weeks course where students from both campuses, Okanagan and Vancouver, together work and study in one of the 2 campuses, depending on the year, and study wine and grape production. We visit wineries, we visit orchards and vineyards. We do measurements in those vineyards, etc. So we have a deep dive into the production of grapes and wine. I noticed that Jordan has shared that one of the courses of the Applied Biology program is horticultural techniques. That's great. I will start teaching this course from next year. So we had a professor retiring, then a sessional, and finally I'll take up this course. So we teach how, basics of horticulture, how we develop new plants, propagate new plants, cultivate the plants, why we prune, and all these type of things. So if for those of you who are interested in applied animal biology, change your mind, come to these courses. But actually, ironically, I'm joking about that, but I did have in my wine courses several applied animal biology students, and they always did great because they are excellent students, like the others, but they are really excellent students. Thank you for moving on. My research is you understood that already, physiology and genetics of grapevines, and also, say, blueberry and raspberries. We have strong collaborations in this research with the industry commodity groups or direct farms where we carry out. Most of our studies are either in the greenhouse here on campus or in orchards and vineyards in the lower mainland or in the Okanagan Valley, that is the main wine region. And we do physiology. We focus on understanding how climate change is affecting this production and the quality of these fruits, and in the case of grapes, the quality of the wines. And we are developing strategies to cope with climate change, like how to manage irrigation to, I guess, protect the plant from a heat wave, or what other type of treatments we can do on the canopy to protect the plant from, again, too much sun or other extreme events. And in the case of blueberries, we are developing, again, new varieties for more sustainable blueberries and raspberry production in British Columbia. So varieties that are adapted to our climates and not developed in other regions, so that when we have our own climatic events, they are challenged. So this is a bit the type of research I do. I understand it's a bit focused on my activity, but I can also talk later on about my fantastic colleagues who work on soil science, ecology, animal welfare, animal health, etc. The last slide, I will just go very briefly just to say that as it happens in our program, we are quite a diverse group, and I feel that many students can find what they like, because we go from productions, how we cultivate better in the fields our soils, or in a more sustainable way, or in a way that we can have better quality of our produce, but also we work on genomics, how we can generate new varieties, genetics through breeding. So using these type of technologies, we in my lab, but other labs use remote sensing technologies like flying drones and taking images of the fields to understand if we have to irrigate more or less. So this lies to say that what you find in my lab, you will find also in the program a very diverse type of techniques that and methodology we use for research. And if you are a student who is then interested in exploring more research, I'm pretty sure in the program you will find many opportunities. A lot of us work on social science, and in the applied animal biology program, we have outstanding and actually leaders in the world on animal welfare, and so that is not necessarily what we do in our lab, but certainly like a big strength of our program. Last slide, I think, is just I want to just show those are students, graduate students, but many of the ones you see there are undergrad students, actually probably more than half, that they join us and support our research activity. They learn how to work in the lab, they learn how to work in the fields. And normally they say they enjoy and they learn a lot in these research activities. I hope I was not too long, and I apologize if I was.
You were not long at all. So thank you so much for sharing your experience and your research. So now we're going to move into a little bit more about the student experience. So there are a lot of undergrad volunteer opportunities available within LFS and at UBC in general. In the photo under the word volunteer, there's a club called Campus Canines, where students can raise puppies and train them to become life-changing assistance dogs. Not only do you get that opportunity, but you can bring these dogs to class with you and continue to train them. We also have a lot of research opportunities available in the faculty, and these can be through either coursework or extracurriculars. So some examples of this include part-time jobs through the WorkLearn program, specifically in faculty labs. So you can learn more about the WorkLearn program in our LFS Careers Journeys session. This takes place tomorrow. And then you can also pursue research opportunities through the directed studies projects, in your upper years, where students can work under a graduate student mentor to perform research. We also have practicum and co-op opportunities as well. So practicums provide an opportunity for students to gain practical experience in their field of study or interest. And then this can be done while earning course credit and having that being applied to your degree as well. Similarly, in our co-op program, students basically pause their studies in order to pursue full-time paid work in the industry that you're interested in. So this is a really good opportunity to gain experience, maybe take a pause on studies, and then return. Yeah. LFS students also have a chance to participate in the Go Global Exchange program, where students can take classes in partnering institutions all over the world. If you Google Go Global UBC, you'll find the comprehensive list of schools and countries. And I mean, I haven't looked, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was 50 plus schools that you could potentially go to around the world. We also have Go Global seminars. So this is another opportunity to go abroad, but instead of taking classes at another university, you'll basically get to learn with your UBC peers. And the course is taught by a UBC professor while you're there. So plenty of exciting opportunities for students. So next up is Luna. Luna is an international student who moved halfway across the world to come study in Vancouver. So she's going to talk about how she's been able to get the most of her time at UBC. So I'll pass it off. Thank you.
Thank you, Jordan. Hi everyone. My name is Luna, as Jordan mentioned, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm halfway done with my third year with a 1 year pause for my co-op program since January, as an intern at Canada's National Research Centre, or NRC. As you all know, I'm in applied biology and I'm majoring in applied animal biology, and I'm going to talk about the advice that I have to get the most out of your time at UBC. So right from the start, UBC has a lot of opportunities that can help you settle in. Two of the most helpful ones are Jumpstart and Imagine Day. So Jumpstart is UBC's multi-day orientation before classes begin. It's kind of designed for new students, especially international ones like me. And it helped me make a lot of friends, to get familiar with campus, especially, and to understand what professors actually expect from us in university courses. Then on Imagine Day, which is the first day of classes, you can meet your dean, your professors, lots of other students in your faculty. There's also a huge showcase with clubs and services, and it's where you can discover groups and clubs. And LFS has a lot of clubs, such as UBC Cooking Club, which teaches, I think, practical cooking skills. UBC NutriKids, where students can deliver nutrition and education workshops in elementary schools across Vancouver, which is very interesting to me. And there's also UBC PAW, or Pre-Veterinary and Animal Welfare Club, and it's perfect if you're curious about animals, or you're pre-med and want to go to vet school. In my first year when I came to Canada, I lived in Totem Park, which is one of UBC's residences, and it was honestly one of the best decisions I could have made at the time. I made my current group of friends through dorm events and floor hangouts, and your resident advisor or your RA can be a very great support too. They're not just there for to enforce rules. There are students too, and they can help you and give you advice on settling in, getting more involved, and to navigate anything that feels kind of unfamiliar. And being a resident kind of gave me a social foundation that made academics feel a bit more manageable, because I had people to talk to and to study with. And university courses are different from high school, which you should be expecting. They move kind of fast, and the expectations are higher and more specific. And that's kind of why I always recommend to go to office hours and to talk to your professor. It might feel kind of intimidating at first, but profs generally want to help you. You can ask questions, you can clarify concepts, or even just talk about your interests. It builds relationships, you can network with people, and it can be really valuable later on. And also, you can always look into study groups. Sometimes they're posted by the faculty student society or in our LFS US or LFS Undergrad Society Instagram post, or you can ask an academic advisor like Jordan where to find one. And studying with others can really help kind of improve your understanding and make big lectures kind of feel smaller and more friendly. Um, and after first year, I started commuting to campus, which is I had to live about an hour and a half away from campus. And so I had to take the bus every day to come to UBC. And waking up early and to catch the bus isn't always fun, but it gave me more balance and I got better in managing my time and it pushed me to be intentional about what I'm doing when I'm on campus. And whether it's like grabbing coffee with my friend after a lecture or like blocking out study time at IKB, which is our main library. And I've learned to use my time more efficiently. And commuting can feel a bit more independent, and that's not a bad thing. It can teach you how to create your own structure. And UBC also has something for everyone, but the key is to figure out what works for you. You don't need to join 5 clubs right away or know your exact career path in first year, which is something that's really great about UBC. You can just start somewhere. You can be curious, you can ask questions, you can talk to people, such as peers, advisors, professors, students. The more you explore, the more you'll find your rhythm, which is something that you can find especially at LFS. And as Christine, I think, mentioned, because we're a very tight-knit program, it kind of feels like family once you get into the faculty, and it's really great to get to talk to everyone and to figure out the path that you want to follow. And if it all feels a little uncertain at the beginning, that's totally okay. It's completely normal. The important thing is that you're open to learning and to grow and to adjust. And that's what university is all about. Um, and I just forgot to mention what these pictures are. I can just go over them quite quickly. The one after me, the one in the center, is one of our events that we had a couple of months ago that we had alumni over to talk about their experiences and to say and to share with students what they've done over the years after they graduated from UBC. There were a lot of already UBC students there and a lot of high schoolers who came with their parents to get to know what is the LFS like and what is the life out of LFS looks like. And it was a great opportunity to even get to know more people who want to come into LFS and people who are faculty members. And the picture on the right is when I spend time in LFS Academic and Career Engagement Team or LFS ACE team. And this was after our first workshop when we helped students to kind of get better at scheduling and managing their time, kind of a little bit before finals, to help them hopefully be better at managing their times and scheduling and get ready for finals. And so, yeah, my last words are that UBC is a place that things will fall into place with time, and friendships, confidence, and opportunities will arise, but you just have to give it some time. Thank you.
All right, amazing. Thank you so much, Luna, for sharing your experience. It's so nice to be able to have an alumni, a student, and a professor here to just, yeah, share their experience with LFS. So, a question that we often get is, what careers can I get after I complete my degree? This makes a lot of sense. But for some of you, you may not have thought that far ahead, and that is completely fine. So on the screen here, you see a list of careers alumni from the Applied Animal Biology program have pursued. So these include some veterinarians, wildlife rehabilitators, medical doctors, registered nurses, or even animal ecologists. And these are just some of the possibilities. Your degree in LFS is unique in that it's versatile and interdisciplinary. So this list here is by no means an exhaustive list of opportunities that you can pursue. And then here we have on the screen even more career possibilities our grads have pursued. These are mostly for the SAGE students as well. And given our ever-changing climate and technology, there may actually be new emerging jobs as land, conservation, and food security issues continue to grow. So now we have Andrea Walterhouse, who is an alumna from the Applied Animal Biology program. She is the VP of Housing, Technology, and Implementation at Connective, where she leads several departments. Connective is a nonprofit organization that focuses on housing. So this interesting and meaningful career might not be the first career you think about when you think about LFS and what paths you can take after graduation. But I will let Andrea explain her journey.
Thanks, Jordan. Hi, everyone. So honored to be here. Appreciate everyone attending and your time and energy. So yeah, that was a great introduction. Thank you. I was born and raised in Ontario and moved to Vancouver for UBC in 2013. Everyone told me I would never come back, and they were right. I fell in love with Vancouver. I fell in love with UBC and LFS, and I've built a life here. Similar to Luna, most of my best friends from that time were from my first year residence. In fact, I'm actually going to Amsterdam next week to see one. So it's really lifelong friendships that I've made through UBC and the LFS faculty. My journey is obviously not linear. When I was applying to LFS, I wanted to be a vet. It has been my dream my entire life to be a vet. And at that time, at least in 2013, when I was applying, there were very few options, and I didn't really know a lot about the LFS program, but really was excited about how interdisciplinary it would be, and I was totally blown away. Um, I loved so many aspects of my degree, and while my career path shifted, I would say somewhere in second year when I realized that maybe I don't want to be a vet. Vet is, the one that I think we all have the childhood dream about, but you realize that there are so many more options once you're in the program. And I knew I wanted to be focused on animals, but didn't quite know how. So I had a little bit of I felt at the time like an existential crisis, but it was not a big deal to decide to not be a vet. And I shifted to want a different career path, but didn't quite know what it was. I did complete the honors program, in order to just try and get the most out of my degree. And when I graduated, I really didn't know yet what I wanted to do. I knew that there were so many options for me, but I had made the decision that I thought I wanted to work in animal advocacy, based on the ethics courses that I had taken and really fallen in love with at LFS. And so I decided to graduate and do everything I could to get skills that meant I could be of value to an animal organization, whatever that might be. And so I ended up, taking an operations administration type jobs, turned into coordinators, I was in client success at a bookkeeping firm for a little bit, and grew a team there. And then I just honestly used the skills that I learned in LFS and the fact that I had a degree, to get to where I am now. So, I often tell, students when I do and speak to at events like this that the skills that you learn in these programs are way more than yeah, at the time I could identify at an animal physiology degree or course, the different parts of a dog, no problem. But what I remember today are the things that I use every day. So that's being able to see a large document and synthesize it and communicate it effectively. I'm able to do really good collaboration in group projects and group work that, unfortunately to tell you, never goes away as you go into your career. Presenting in front of a crowd and being comfortable with that, and just being someone that can see things holistically. If anything, LFS taught me that there are really complex problems that knowing and having an interdisciplinary approach to them has just paid off in dividends in how I've interacted in my career since. I'm very lucky in that like I said, I worked my way into an organization that I feel very passionately about, working in housing now. It's not animals yet. It will be one day. It's still the dream, that I will get back to working with animals. But in the meantime, I'm doing really important work that I feel really passionately about. There's no way I could have gotten here without all of the skills that I learned in LFS. So I'm very grateful for my degree, very grateful for all the friendships that I have from LFS, and just the opportunity to fall in love with Vancouver generally. Um, Not too much to share about these pictures. This is my dog Mila on the left. This is my, unfortunately, she's passed now, but my lovebird Katie on the right. And then at the bottom, I used to volunteer for a nonprofit that had some rescue parrots. And so when I was in school, I was working at different animal hospitals and volunteering to get experience, as you need to become a vet one day. And I've really created a lot of good relationships that now I volunteer with. So still have lots of animals in my life, although it's not my career at this moment. I am still incredibly grateful for all the skills that I've accumulated over the years thanks to my degree. Happy to answer any questions.
All right, so thank you so much for sharing. So before we start our Q&A portion of the presentation, I just want to share some important dates and deadlines that are coming up for you all to keep in mind. So like I've mentioned before, we encourage you to attend our career session, which is tomorrow. You'll get to hear from 3 great alumni. One is currently in grad school, one is a practicing lawyer, and the other is in med school. So you can scan the QR code to take you to the registration form if that's something that interests you. So depending on your offer of admission, you will have to accept your offer by May or potentially June. So definitely be sure to read your offer letter carefully and accept your offer of admission by your specific deadline. And then this can be done through the applicant portal where you actually submitted the original application. In mid-May, Roots will launch its first welcome module to get you set up with the faculty and to help prepare you for course registration. And in late June, you'll have the opportunity to register for courses. So please keep in mind that you'll be notified when notified with a specific date and time within the first year registration period. So definitely be sure that you're checking your email throughout June so you'll know your registration date and time, as course sections can fill up really quickly, especially the first year courses. And you want to make sure that you get into the sections that fit your ideal schedule. And in August, there will be a Jumpstart orientation, and in September, there will be UBC Imagine Day. That'll take place on the first day of classes, which will be Tuesday, September 2nd this year. And you'll get to explore the campus and connect with professors and other new incoming students as well. So again, just the last slide before the Q&A, we wanted to share our contact information and how to connect with us through social media. So if you have any academic related questions, such as like transfer credit interpretation, course registration, or planning, you can email me or any of the other academic advisors on the team at lfs.advising@ubc.ca. We are happy to help answer your questions. We're happy to book meetings with you, tell you when the drop-in schedules are coming, help you navigate what the first year is going to look like. And of course, you can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We have a newsletter called the LFS Newsletters. We really like puns in this faculty. So yeah, please stay in touch. We have our website, landfood.ubc.ca, if you just want to do some research on your own as well. So yeah, so now we will jump into questions. So feel free to type your questions into the chat. But if you're comfortable unmuting and being in the recording, you are also welcome to unmute and ask as well.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I have a question. So if later on, by the way, I think I have already accepted my offer to applied biology. But by the way, if I want to change my program or change my major into something else, EX biology, can I do that? Or is there some way I can do that?
So within the faculty of LFS, you'll be able to switch into different programs. You'll be able to transfer into different programs. If you do want to transfer into a different faculty, however, there's a more formalized process that you'll need to go through. So I think your question is a really great example of when we can communicate over email just for a little bit more details. Each faculty is going to be slightly different. They're going to have different dates and deadlines. And if you're going from, let's say, LFS to somewhere else,
To
then
the Faculty of Science.
yeah, so no, that's no problem. But I think being able to talk to both advising teams, because you'll likely need to stay for 24 credits or 1 year before you're eligible for transfer.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so we will once again kind of give you the LFS email, and we can go from there as well. So if anyone doesn't have any questions, this will be the formal end of our presentation. So thank you so much for coming.
Oh, Jordan, there are questions in the chat. Sorry.
Questions in the chat. Perfect.
Yeah. Robin had a question of whether exchange also causes a break in study similar to a co-op.
It can. So I don't profess to be very knowledgeable with exchange. We do have someone in our office who handles Go Global. So exchange, it really depends on the university you're going to. I've seen students go on exchange. I've seen one student go to New Zealand, and they came back with 16 or more credits of restricted electives. Depending on the courses that you're taking and what university you're going to will depend what you get back. For the most part, it's going to be unrestricted elective credits. So we've got a few different types of elective credits, unrestricted and restricted. Restricted electives live on a curated list that we have. And unrestricted is basically anything that is not a degree requirement for your program or on that restricted elective list. I'm simplifying it, but it's kind of a general way to understand that. So you'll be able to work with Go Global and their representatives to really figure out how to maximize your credits and your time as well. So hopefully that answers your question. And then I see, how does the SAGE major different from the science faculties?
Jordan, if you want, I can answer to this one.
Yes, please.
Because I'm also an associate a member of the botany department, and several of the professors in the botany major are my colleagues and friends. So I will say that the botany is a bit more fundamental in the study of the plants. So more theoretical aspects of physiology, biology of the plants, genetics, genomics, ecology. And I would say also in a broader sense for the plants in general, the evolution of the plants, etc. When you go to SAGE, is a more applied understanding. So some of the courses are fundamental, like the ones they have in botany. So you learn about the biology. You can enroll. We have plant physiology as well. We have ecology as well. But we have a lot of courses there. Where you will learn about how sustainable productions of crops, for instance, or pollination biology, roles of bees and insects in pollination, or how to protect the plants from insects and other pathogens in sustainable manner. So it goes more into plant production in the context of plants, but it could be also animal production. We have also courses that relate to animals. And so I'm not sure if this helps a bit, but they have similar and they share some courses, but one goes more on the fundamental aspects and remains a bit broader. The other goes into the aspects of production of food or impacts of production of food on the environment and how to mitigate them, how to deal with climate and crop production, these type of things. We also have, one thing, a lot of soil-related courses in the sustainable agriculture and environment that I don't think botany has that aspect. So we share those soil courses with forestry as well. And so there is a large portfolio of soil biology, soil chemistry, and soil ecology courses that they do not have.
Okay, perfect. I definitely could not have answered as succinctly as you did. So I really appreciate you answering that one for me. So I've got another question in the chat from Mira. Is it true that it's difficult to register for courses outside of LFS? So, I mean, this is very situational because students will get assigned a registration date based on year level. And then within that date, again, I did stress that it's very important to kind of be logged in, ready to go, and have a solid plan for your registration date to minimize any chance of running into this problem. I do see that you've also mentioned that there's difficulties completing your degree within 4 years. And for the large part, less than 20% of students will complete their degree in 4 years. Definitely possible, but it does require really careful planning and execution. So if that's something that is very, very important to you, that time frame of 4 years, come engage with Student Services Office because we are expert planners and we can really kind of help you craft based on the schedule what's going to be not only efficient for you, but manageable because students will often take all of their degree required courses at once. And then they run into these issues where they're struggling through three really heavy science fundamental courses rather than potentially taking one of those courses, putting them in term two, and adding an additional course back in. So there's definitely ways around this. Sometimes students will run into issues where they're struggling with registration in a course or two, but I've never seen it hinder graduation. So we're happy to kind of work with you, develop a good plan, and troubleshoot if and when needed. Is there any more questions? Of course. For applied biology, can you take some courses on human biology if you're interested in that area too? The short answer, absolutely. So applied biology, applied animal biology specifically, is really unique in the sense that the last 2 years of that program are all elective credits, all restricted, all unrestricted elective credits. So with those unrestricted elective credits, you can definitely take like 300 level biology courses, human anatomy courses. Um, but again, really happy to kind of walk individual students through what that would look like. And then part of our restricted elective list, there is a large amount of human-related medicine courses, nutrition courses, physiology courses. So the short answer was yes. The long answer is absolutely, and we are happy to help guide you through that process. All right. To build off that, can we do marine biology courses? So there's no easy answer, and it's really course by course specific. Some courses and some faculties safeguard individual courses for their students, meaning that they'll have reserved and unreserved seats in those courses, just as LFS does as well. And that is to give their own students, marine biology students, the opportunity to take the courses first. Some courses, and I don't have any off the top of my head, so I apologize, but some courses you will not be able to take. But a large amount of them you will be able to take. You just need to meet certain prereqs, some year level standings, so mostly like 3 or 4th year standing. So again, it's really just about coming to our office, talking over what courses that you're interested in, and then developing a plan with us as well, because that's our jobs, that's what we're here for. So we're happy to get you in those courses, and we're happy to kind of go course by course and see which options are actually viable for you. Of course, no problem, Cyrus. Is it possible to share my plan schedule with some science APBI advisor before the actual registration date? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so you'll be able to create a saved schedule, they're called. And that will happen at least a few weeks before registration date. To be honest, maybe Luna can fill us in here. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, even like more than just a few weeks. We can do it like I think at least a month before the registration. And it's great to see the capacity of the courses, to see how the times will fit into your schedule for people who are commuting. Sometimes some of them schedule their time as so they don't have to be on campus every day because it's such a hassle to commute every day. But mostly, it might be a bit stressful, especially if you're in your first year. I did my fair share of stressing about this back when I was registering for courses. But as time passes by and as you go through your years at UBC, it gets much easier to know how to navigate that. So yeah.
Amazing. Do we have any more questions or any for our other presenters as well? Okay. Well, thank you all so much for coming in and learning a bit more about the faculty that you have either already chose or may choose in the future. Of course, let me just put the email address back in the chat. So please reach out to us if you have any questions, you want to set up a meeting, you want to talk about what courses to take, what courses you can take. We're obviously happy to do that work. And yeah, so thanks again, everyone, for coming. And thank you to the presenters as well for your time. So yeah, that wraps up the end of this session. So thank you all.